This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Well, certainly we're grateful, very appreciative for all that Coach Gill has done for Liberty football over the last 7 years. He's had a tremendous impact on our student athletes, literally hundreds of student athletes that he's coached over that period of time, and obviously just had an enormous impact in terms of transitioning the football program from FCS to FBS, and along the way championships and a lot of success. So we appreciate him a great deal, and certainly wish him and his family much success and happiness as they transition into as he transitions into retirement and they transition into the next phase of their life. So we're very appreciative and look forward to staying in close touch with Coach Gill through the years. As far as the season went, I thought we had a tremendous transition to FBS football. The team was very competitive throughout the season. We're in basically every football game, winning 6 games. Only 9 schools have done that, making the FCS to FBS transition. So certainly that's a great accomplishment, and I think we earned a lot of respect nationally, and have the program positioned for great success as we move forward. I just feel a great sense of momentum. I think we're enjoying a lot of success in recruiting right now, and people just feel very good about Liberty football overall. Just make a couple comments about the coaching search. Obviously, after Coach Gill made his announcement yesterday afternoon to the staff and then the team, we initiated a national search to find the next head football coach at Liberty. We will work on that until we have an announcement, and there's very strong interest in the job. I think people recognize that we have tremendous facilities. There's an amazing commitment from President Falwell, and with the resources we have in place, this program can continue to thrive as we move forward. So with that, be happy to take any questions.
What was your reaction when Coach Gill first brought up the thought of retirement?
Yeah, I was obviously taken aback, surprised. I did not anticipate that. We're actually spending time talking about moving forward and looking forward to the 2019 season and continuing to build the program and progress. So that came as a big surprise to me, and but certainly not just the decision, but the way he reached the decision is just something you have to respect and admire. That in his life, faith comes first, family comes second, and football comes later. And that's I think he has his priorities right, and you certainly need to respect someone who has those priorities.
What criteria are you going to look for in the next coach? Someone who has ties here, or someone who offensive innovation, defensive mindset? What are you looking for the next head coach?
Yeah, Damien, just generally, you're looking for someone obviously who's very skilled technically, who can recruit effectively to the institution. Particularly at Liberty, it's very important that we have a good fit, someone who embodies and respects the mission and vision of the institution, and someone who will be effective in terms of marketing and promoting the program. So we have had a tremendous amount of interest in the position, and we'll move swiftly to bring the search to closure.
How important is it for you to have your next coach have head coaching experience and/or FBS experience?
It's always preferred to have head coaching experience because you have a track record, and until you've done it, you don't necessarily know how an assistant's going to perform in a head coaching role. So that's always preferred. It's not required, but it is preferred. Certainly now that we are an FBS program, having FBS experience is important, and would be something that we would place a high value on.
It's obviously early with the news and everything, but do you have a couple of people on your short list, and how long do you see the search going on at this point?
Yeah, obviously there are a number of candidates that we're evaluating and vetting right now. We haven't begun the interview process at this point, and really it's just a lot of due diligence and evaluating candidates. And in terms of how long it would take, my goal would be to hopefully bring it to closure sometime by the end of next week, middle of December.
With the new December signing period. How important is it to be able to wrap this up quickly to continue that positive momentum you talked about?
Yeah, it's even more important given the December 19th signing period. So we certainly recognize that the coaches have done a great job from a recruiting standpoint in terms of the commitments we have in place, and we hope to add to that number. But it's important for these student athletes to know who they're playing for, who the head coach will be, and so again, we'll try to have the search completed by the end of next week.
When you met with the current coaching staff, what was your message to them after Gill's announcement?
Yeah, really just to continue to do your job effectively, making sure our student athletes are taking care of things academically, meeting any needs that our student athletes have, and then continue the recruiting process. We made a few adjustments. We're not going to host a recruiting weekend this weekend, and just to continue to communicate with the recruits and I was really pleased with the response of the staff, and they're I think handling things very well. And again, you have to recognize this was a significant, unexpected announcement to them as well, and it affects their careers, it affects their lives, it affects their families. So I think it's important that we're all sensitive to that.
In the coaching search, are you going to consider anyone internally from the staff for the position?
We are. We're going to continue. We'll consider both internal and external candidates, and my charge from President Falwell is to find the very best leader to move this program forward, and that's what we'll do.
Who will be involved primarily in the search, other than obviously you and President Falwell?
Yeah, we'll have some members of the athletic staff involved as well, and again, we're going to embark on that pretty quickly. Todd Patulski, who oversees football, will be involved, as well as Mickey Gritty.
Will it just be a internal thing, or will you look to outside guidance as well, consulting, a firm, something along those lines?
Yeah, we are going to utilize a search firm to help us. It's really important in terms of vetting the candidates, and particularly given the need to move in such an accelerated manner. We are going to use a search firm because that just helps us move in a much more expeditious way.
Have there been individuals that have already reached out to you in interest for this job?
I have had a couple of phone calls, as a matter of fact. So yeah, no, there's a very high level of interest, and I think the perception of Liberty football is higher than it's ever been. Obviously, this is the first time we've done a search as an FBS program, and again, people recognize the commitment from President Falwell, the resources, the facilities, really the momentum and upward trajectory of this program. I think are all selling points. So there's definitely high interest.
Ian, have there been internal candidates that have already reached out to you, and would there be advantages to having an internal candidate take over the program?
Yeah, again, we are going to consider internal candidates. The advantage there is it's less disruptive, and you have more continuity with an internal candidate. And again, that will be something that we consider within the whole context of the search.
Is there any type of interim coach during this process?
I've asked, Coach Dale and Coach Wimberly as the offensive defensive coordinators, to help in the transition in terms of playing a leadership role. If there are any significant issues that need to be brought to my attention, that they have the ability to do that. Coach Gill is also, again, he's still here and helping out as well. But the two coordinators will again play a larger role during the transition.
Is there preference to bringing in someone at least to interview that maybe you've worked with before in the past or anything like that?
Again, my goal is to hire the best coach to lead this program forward. If I'm familiar with them or unfamiliar with them, that's not critical to me. I've hired coaches before that I didn't know, or I've also hired coaches that I did have some familiarity with. So it'll, again, just comes down to the best candidate.
At this point, of any other coaches from the staff currently, have they made a transition to another program? Are they no longer with Liberty University at this time?
No, coaching staff's all intact.
This question is inevitably going to be asked. Art Briles, is that someone you will consider?
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to any specific candidates. I just think this process requires confidentiality, and so in order to honor all the candidates, I'm not going to discuss any individual potential candidates.